Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to a very exciting episode of CSGO News. As always, let's get right into it. And first off in today's CSGO News, after Fnatic's loss to Liquid in the semifinals of ESL1 Cologne this past weekend, we have Fnatic Krimz tweeting out this, which was pretty shocking as it seemed he openly admitted that he'd be leaving the CSGO scene sometime soon. Now we're not sure as to who he's referring to as these kids in this crappy scene, or whether it be younger pro players or just younger viewers giving him crap after their loss to Liquid or throughout the major. Whatever it may be, we have no idea what context he was tweeting this out in, but either way, after Eleague concludes in the coming weeks, we might have a true legend retiring from the CSGO scene. We'll have to wait for this in the future. Oh my gosh, I'm sweaty. I just came home from work, so please don't... Actually, you can judge me. Okay. And unfortunately, a multitude of events has actually brought a lot of hate and criticism towards the ESL1 Cologne final, which happened this past weekend between Liquid and SK Gaming. If you guys didn't get the chance to watch it, well, you really didn't miss much in the best of 3 series, as SK did take it 2-0 and dominate performances on both maps. And again, viewers didn't have a really big chance to watch the whole thing because both those maps ended so soon and so abruptly, and there was really no competition whatsoever coming from Liquid. Now, this showing that SK is very dominant, although viewer counts were recorded much lower from MLG Columbus, which a lot of people were worried about. But don't worry, there's a lot of reasons behind that, and so we shouldn't really be, worried about it too much. As many of you guys probably don't know, the viewership peaked for the LG Navi MLG Columbus final just a couple months ago, right around 1.6 million. This final was substantially lower as it only topped off around 1 million all in. So we are around 500,000, maybe even more than 500,000 people short on this final, but do not fear, guys. There's a multitude of reasons of why this probably was. So of course, the first reason has to be the camera observing for all you Twitch viewers or live stream viewers, and also people for production value who are actually at the arena live for ESL1 Cologne Major. PGL put on this event, and apparently it was quite poor. I myself watched on live stream. The camera angles and all that kind of stuff was, it was mediocre, but also people saying that they were there live. The production content was also quite poor. PGL came out on Twitter this morning and said they were sorry for the event and they did not do a good job. Hopefully in the future, ESL New York coming up and a lot of other tournaments, PGL put on a better performance if they are chosen for that production value. So that was the number one main reason. Also number two, although an all-American final, North America versus South America final sounded super cool, it really does hurt you when you don't have European teams like Navi, NIP, G2 not in a final, because their fan bases stretch all the way across the world. Without a European team in that final, definitely hurt viewership. A lot of European fans had no reason to really watch the final. And my third and last point, the final was so abrupt. Although, MLG Columbus didn't go to game 3 either, that one was a lot closer than this one, 16-7, 16-6. SK really dominated Liquid, so people really had no chance to even come in and view, because by the time they did, it was already over. So those are the 3 main reasons. Do not worry, guys. The view counts were down, but I do expect them hopefully to go back up for the next major. And speaking of G2, their very own RpK has been replaced for the time being, and especially for Eleague this next coming week and the upcoming weeks as well, due to a health issue announced earlier today by G2 on their website. The team announced that RpK actually suffered a perforated eardrum, and as funny as it sounds that he has to rest his ear, it's supposedly a really painful ordeal that he's going through right now. So best of luck to RpK. He's being replaced mainly for Eleague as of right now, but he's also not supposed to fly with the team, so he'll not be traveling with the team. And their new replacement, a former teammate of Body, currently on G2, he goes by the name of Fuchs, and he will be replacing him as of right now for only Eleague. If the RpK's ear injury persists, he might be replacing him for a much longer time. So Fuchs has been a stand-in for the team since the start of this year, and after failing to make it out of the group stage at ESL1 Cologne, I'm very curious to see how this G2 lineup does at Eleague. And last but certainly not least, and probably the biggest news for today, is a big lineup change coming from CLG. Apparently both CLG, Tarek, and PETA are stepping down from the CSGO roster for CLG and their team. Although only PETA mentioned it, we can only assume both these players will remain on the team for the last chance qualifier for Eleague coming up this current week. We do really hope that Tarek comes around, but only PETA mentioned it in his tweet, so Tarek might be dropping instantaneously and active immediately, but hopefully he will be in the team for Eleague as well, because they're already short one player with PETA coaching and also playing as a player as well. CLG did fail to make it out of group stages for the major as well this past weekend, but it's hard to say what the reasons are besides these guys missing their families and also missing home, which is the main points why their guys are stepping down from the current rosters as well. But again, there's a lot of, there's not too other many reasons besides that, because a lot of North American teams, including Cloud9 and TSM, didn't even, make it to the major as well, so CLG already ahead of them. And then we also had, fellow NA team Optic Gaming, they also failed to make it out of the group stages. So CLG probably a little down themselves right now. They got to compare themselves to other North American organizations, though. As of right now, they're one of the better North American teams. Although they may not look like it in the major, they still made it there, which is a big achievement. So hopefully they don't get too down on themselves, but big roster changes probably coming sometime soon for CLG. As always, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of CSGO News. I had no idea there was going to be this many big stories today. I hope you guys all enjoy. I love making these episodes every single day. I'll see you guys all right back here tomorrow on a CSGO News episode, maybe a CSGO stream later tomorrow night as well. As always, live, love, laugh a lot. You guys know what's coming. Remember, I like you. Goodbye.